Test, test, test. Okay, Captain's log, stardate 7768.3. Again, I don't remember what we did last time. I think we did a couple missions. I don't think we did any base build. Oh, we did Andresia's mission. That's what we did. And we're on Jemison. Let's see what we're doing now. Let's go.
Seen something interesting, let me know. If it pans out into a full story, you'll be compensated. Welcome to SSNN, where the news never sleeps. If you're part of the David Barron fan club, try not to inflate his ego too much. He's liable to burst. We spend hundreds of hours digging into stories, sorting the lies from the damned lies. Then David performs a 2-minute segment and wins an award. Who'd have a problem with that? Sorry. Long day. Longer night. How about a do-over?
I wouldn't mind making your night
Let's
longer.
take a look at you. You're not from around here. My guess is you really work for a living. I bet you have a story or two. I have a feeling about such things. Tommy? Tommy did something useful? So you must be the captain of the... Frontier? Rumor is there was a firefight at a mining installation. I'm interested only in primary sources. So things you've seen and or done that are newsworthy. No hearsay. So, what do you got for me? I'm working on an investigative piece about some of the businesses in the well right now. Trying to get a handle on how things are in that part of the city. I'm not sure the story will get off the ground, though. I asked the higher-ups if I could go down there for some interviews, but they said it's too dangerous. They'd probably be all for it if David asked. Most people in New Atlantis like to pretend the well doesn't exist. I think it's important to call attention to what's going on down there. Really? You sure? Who do I look like? David Barron? Yeah, I'd give you credit for your work. Credits, too. I have a small budget for things like this. Great. I had 3 interviewees in mind. Teresa Mason, the owner of Kay's house, Henrik Zoran at Apex Electronics, and Nurse O'Shea from the medbay. You don't need to ask too many tough questions. I just want to read on how their businesses are doing, and how things are in the well. really can't thank you enough. I've just got a feeling about you.
So, if
You
I
have a
do
story to tell.
Crimson Fleet, that might lure Neva. Because I need to take care of that bitch. Not that one. That one. Huh. Let's
Back to the grind.
save it first. How many saves do I have? So I have a lot. So Conjaro's over there playing. He only gets like 150 saves. He's playing on the Xbox. And I'm over here with 444 saves. Holy shit.
Do you have a story for me or not?
Alright.
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? I swear you're either a trouble magnet or something. So, Sistef finally, and against all odds, really triumphed against the Crimson Fleet. In their own backyard, no less. How were you involved? So what do you do for an encore? So, the Vigilants went toe-to-toe with everything the Crimson Fleet could throw at them. And somehow, almost miraculously, they captured the key. The key itself. I've confirmed that with many sources. Anything to add? Really? I might have to fact-check that. But it would fill in some gaps. You have to feel good about how everything turned out. Commander Ikande is being hailed a hero. And Sistef's popularity is at an all-time high. Your thoughts? That's a common refrain. He was respected before this, but now? And that's all I need. You really do lead an extraordinary life. And as a, well, possibly embarrassing personal note, thank God for you. You have another story for me? Looks like some Crimson Fleet brainiac figured out it's easier to hit stationary targets than dogfighting in the field. And you are an eyewitness with the courtesy to find us instead of being chased down. Refreshing. So what were the pirates doing there? It's not their usual MO. Rare minerals, you say? That would be worth the price of admission. So what's your role in all this? Part of a tour group?
Supervisor Dragon at your service.
Ah, the old anonymous source. A dance I know all too well. So we've covered the basics. How about any harrowing tales of daring do? How'd a bunch of miners triumph? Huh. Sounds like a good outfit. The heroic miner is a good angle. This is a good local story. Plucky miners band together and punch above their weight. If you ever get more stories like this, drop by. And take this to cover any incidentals, or other creative ways to pad out an expense report. If you have a new story for me, I'm very happy to pay your fee. What a sordid mess. We've got some other sources we've been interviewing, but I'd love to get your take on the record. So there was a mercenary company, the First, and they were involved in taking farmlands from Freestar Collective families. Extortion, death threats, murder, all of it. Is that right? I genuinely don't know how people like that can live with themselves. So all of that? Terrible. But Ron Hope, the Ron Hope, was involved with it at the highest level. All of that suffering was a plot to save Hope Tech from going under using the side effects of a fertilizer he developed. Let me be blunt. The other sources say you killed Ron Hope. Is that correct? And all that money didn't help in the end. After all of that, the future of Hope Tech is an open question. Their stock has already taken a beating. Not sure if it's going to go into freefall. Any comment? For what it's worth, I'm rooting for them too. Thanks. If you listen to the news, you'll definitely hear this. And, maybe try not to ice any more CEOs. Just a thought. You have that look in your eye. What's the scoop? You certainly get around. I'm surprised that branch has any customers left, the number of times it's been held up. But I thought the Rangers had finally managed to get a handle on it. I heard there was a standoff. That true? I hear the robbers are provided free of charge. All part of the service. What happened to the robbers? The Shaw gang? You did what? I mean, you're well spoken, but a hostage negotiator? I'll do some research and make sure that checks out. These things are often messy. Any customers or Galbank staff get hurt? That's really good news. Usually, well, it's a different kind of story. You were there. You were involved in resolving it. Any comment on the Freestar Rangers? Having another high-profile robbery in their own backyard is a bit of a black eye. Huh. That's really good to know. Stories like this always fire up public outrage and appetite. Thanks for the interview. And take this. My source is back. Here to report anything else? I already interviewed an ex-pirate about the robbery. But she was as reliable as good coffee around here. So you were there when it went down? What were you doing there?
Oh.
Well then, let's continue, Mr. Not Really Relevant. Tell me about this Captain Petrov. I've heard he's a bit of an eccentric. What was your impression of him? I would have loved to have seen it. I'm sure it would make a good story right there. No one seems to know exactly what was stolen, but everyone agrees it was valuable. Care to shed some light on it? Sure, right. Try again. What was stolen? Huh. I guess it takes all types? Last question. About, and I'm quoting, a zoo gone wild. The other source swore up and down that alien creatures got out of their cages and went on a rampage. Please, please, please tell me she was telling the truth. It's got to be some Aurora-induced hallucination. Some days, it is worth it to get out of bed. I love it. This is just a plain old good story. Check the newsfeed for it later. And here's your payment. You talk and get paid, I spread the news. It's a classic win-win. Really? To say you have my undivided attention is an understatement. A lot of people were there. The accounts we've got were chaotic. What was your role in that? Sounds like maybe you're being modest. Security isn't exactly trained for that scenario. But alright. The whole city is still on edge over the attack. We were fortunate, damn fortunate, that casualties were so low. What was it like in the thick of things? You never know quite how precious life is, until it's under threat. It sounds like New Atlantis, heck the whole UC, owes you a great debt. Any closing comments? I already have a good story here.
I don't want to do that. Because I can't remember if that's classified information. That... That's also classified. She got mad at me when I said that.
Got it. Hey, Constellation? From all of us that live here, thanks. We use the word hero a lot in news, but you really are one. When you first walked into my office, I had no idea you would be at the center of so much. And I get the feeling you're not sharing everything. Searching the old memory banks, huh? I might surprise you, but I understand. I talked with the editor, and he authorized a special bonus for someone who's worked with us so long. And maybe one day, years from now, you can fill me in on the stories you didn't want broadcast. Take care, Constellation.
Welcome to SSNN.
I am glad there is still a reliable source of news in the circuit systems, though it often travels significantly slower. I always enjoy these moments. It is always a pleasure. Everyone's welcome. No shortage of hungry mouths to feed around here.
Absolutely. I'm sure my mom would be proud to have the place featured in an article.
What's up? Same as ever. The UC government. That's why Kay's out. Yeah, sure thing. My mom has a place. Business is steady, as usual. We don't tolerate violence or disrespect, so a lot of folks like to spend time here.
The only thing that's worrying me is a new group of customers I've seen hanging around lately. They've been watching the UC surplus store pretty closely. I have a bad feeling they might be planning something. Kay's house has a reputation as a safe place. I don't want to be associated with that kind of thing. Honestly, I'd really appreciate that. I'd feel terrible if something happened and I hadn't done anything to try to stop it. Why don't you come by when you have some spare time, and we'll talk it out. Great. Let me know.
If you haven't, make sure you say hello to Mama. She likes checking in with everyone.
Would you? I'd really appreciate it. They sure looked suspicious. They've been coming here regularly for the last couple weeks, and all they do is sit on the balcony and watch the UC surplus. I thought I heard them mention a robbery. That's not how I want this handled. Kay's place is the only safe haven in the well. I can't condone violence. If anyone's going to handle them, it should be security. But I have to be sure they're up to something before I get the authorities involved. I don't want to get anyone on... Why don't you do a little sleuthing for me? Maybe we can decide what to do once we figure out if they're...
Always nice to see a fresh face around here. You stop in whenever you want.
I don't know, Isaac. Seems like a tough joint to crack.
Nah, that's just what they want you to think. We...
No, but
nothing. I say we strike while the iron's hot. I got a feeling that goody two-shoes at Kay's place is gonna rat us out.
she was giving us some serious side-eye last time we were in there.
See? No time like the present. We'll do it tonight. It'll be fine, trust me. We'll be in and out in time to make last call at Jake's. Frick's info is good.
Don't take it personal if I don't stop to...
Damn.
I was hoping I had it wrong. I guess that settles it. We have to get the authorities involved before they can go through with the robbery. You should take this straight to Officer Endler at the security office. He'll look into it. If he gives you a hard time, tell him I sent you to make the report. That'll get him on your side. Thanks. Let me know when you've made the report, okay?
You don't need to wear your helmet. Keep it moving.
What well, that's what we're here for. What's going on? The UC surplus. You sure about that? It's been a long time since someone was stupid enough to rob that place. That's all. Nobody in the well is more reliable than Teresa. If she says there's a problem, I believe it. You can tell her I'm personally looking into it. That should ease her mind. Those thieves won't be so cocky with security on patrol.
Evening, sir.
That was quick. How'd things go with Officer Endler? I knew I could count on him. He always handles this kind of thing fairly. Thanks for your help with this. I feel a lot better knowing security's on patrol down there.
We're doing the best we can here. That's all we can ever do. We're no Reliant Medical down here, but... A journalist? That's a surprise. Most people don't think anything that goes on in the well is worth writing about. I'd be happy to help if I can. Things are always the same? Sure, if you'd like. Once upon a... Things are always rough at the med bay. I'm the closest thing to a doctor that the well has, and I can't treat everyone. The last few weeks have been especially bad. There's some kind of infection going around, and a lot of kids down here are catching it. It just breaks my heart to see. Oh, you're sweet to offer. There might be something you can do, if you're willing. Let's chat again when you have some time to spare, all right? Three gunshots this week alone. I guess we know where UC secure. Oh, you remembered. I'm touched, dear, really. Yes, there's absolutely something you can do to help. All the children seem to have the same stomach bug, but I'm having trouble diagnosing it. Pediatrics isn't my specialty. But one of my colleagues, Dr. Lebedev, is an expert. If I had his research notes, I'm sure I could diagnose the disease and find a treatment. Oh, thank you much. I really appreciate it. I'd go myself, but I can't leave the medbay unattended.
We offer only the best care in New Atlantis. Welcome to our... Well, you've certainly come to... A medical problem Talia can't solve. I never thought I'd see the day. How can I help? Sick children? Well, we can't have that. I'd be happy to help. Let's see. A stomach bug. I've treated plenty of those. I keep extensive notes. I'm sure I have something that can help. Ah, yes, here we go. And this should do the trick. I've uploaded some of my notes on common stomach issues in pediatric patients to this slate. Please, pass it on to Talia. She can keep it. And give her my best, will you? I hope everything works out for those kids.
Now that's a doctor.
It's taken weeks of talking to him.
If you need patching up, we'll see what we can... Really? Let's see. Ah, this is perfect. I knew Dr. Lebedev would have what I needed. I'll have this solved in no time with these notes for reference. Thank you so much, dear. Really. I couldn't have done this without you.
What do you want? I'm very busy, as you can tell. What's with the staring? You need something? Yeah, well, newsflash, buddy. I don't like anything about you either. In fact, I dislike you with such conviction that I'm inclined to fight you right now. What do you say we go 10 rounds? Right here, right now. Yeah, well, luckily for you, I actually hurt my hand when I was punching some other assholes' lights out.
Fucking pussy.
Doc says it'll take a few weeks or months to heal. Yeah, we'll take a rain check. But once my hand heals, you're done for. Oh, thank God!
No, can't say I'll have what you need. But you're welcome to look. A reporter. Fine, but I'm only talking basics. I don't like people snooping around my business. How the hell do you think? Name's Henrik. I own it. Great! Now, stock's a bit low, so you might find yourself disappointed. Take care.
I hit the wrong button.
I've got limited resource. Really? Let's see. Ah, this is... Thank you so much.
serve you my famous if you got anything. Yeah, well, in fact, what do you say? Yeah, what? Yeah, we'll take a rate. Oh, are we still talking?
If you're a serious... a reporter, fine, but I'm... How the hell do you think? Name's Henrik, I own it. Door's still open, isn't it? That's my idea of success. Sorry if you were hoping for something more. Great! Now what?
Saw your ship come in. Thank you, Mike.
You have another story for me? Hey, that's great! Thanks so much. Did everything go all right? That's why stories like this one are so important. If people knew what was going on down there, maybe they'd want to help fix it. I can't thank you enough for helping me out. I'll send you a copy of the story if it gets published. There's nothing like seeing your name in print. Hope to see you again.
And just what is on your mind at this moment? I know that. Thank you, dearest. Thank you for the conversation and...
He's quite something, our Bobby, isn't he?
They were gonna give our son to a different...
Hey, be careful not to point that thing at me.
Another day, another shift.
I do appreciate that not every meter of land was plowed under to build this city. This tree is far too grand.
I'm sorry, I really can't afford to be distracted. I need to get to the bottom of this. Yes, concerned is an understatement. I work for the scientific division of MAST. I've been... and it appears to be exhibiting some worrying signs. Are you familiar with this particular specimen? Do you understand its importance?
It is a tree. They are quite prevalent in the city. This one is somehow different.
Yes, of course this one is different. It's only the most important tree in the city, perhaps even all of Jemison. Look, I have a lot of work to do here. If you're just going to gawk, I'd ask that you move on. If you can actually assist me, however, I would appreciate it. I don't normally solicit help from random passersby, but it seems an exception is necessary. Would you be willing to retrieve some additional data for me? Well, that's... thank you. That's unexpected. There's a series of biosensors I've placed in various locations around New Atlantis, all calibrated to gather pertinent information. They've been running for long enough that I think it's time to collect and analyze their findings. If you would bring them to me, that would save time.
How good these are. Truly amazing.
I have a pen pal. We've been writing to each other.
The old-fashioned way. No one is born good or evil. Every day you... Oh, it just so happens I need a letter delivered to my pen pal in Sidonia. Pay is in advance. 1,000 credits. Bless you, child. I believe you'll find Hattie at the community center in Sidonia. Just hand her the letter. She'll know who it's from.
Hey, are you looking for eggs too? I've only found one so far, but I want to find more before anyone else does. So if you see some, can you tell me? Yeah, it was. Weird, right? Miss Seng over at UC Distribution bought the one I found, and she said she might buy more if I can find them. I could really use the credits.
Bulk items may require multiple levels of approval and can take up to several weeks for an official response. We apologize for any delay. Welcome to UC Distribution. I have been told it'll be up at... Also, if you're here about a corporate account, I hope we have what you need. Who, Jordan? That kid's in here every other day with some random thing he found. Trying to get credits. Yeah, I took pity on him. Why, what is it?
Always good to see another badge.
It's a buyer's...
I'm always ready to make a deal.
Let's see... Right now, I've got a little place in the well that's up for grabs. Need some work and the location... Sound like something you're interested in? No pressure here. I'm always here if you're looking for a new home.
I really do need that additional data.
So you do. Wonderful. I'll just take these, and we'll see what they have to tell us.
All right, we'll just upload the data. Give it a moment. And just another moment.
Who the fuck said that? Zealots.
It is. There it is. Relief. let's see. This is... well, it's... oh my. This data... well, it's alarming to say the least. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that my suspicions were correct. There is something wrong with the tree. I will report my findings to MAST immediately with no small amount of satisfaction. The phrase, "I told you so," may even be uttered more than once. Yes, it does feel good to be right, particularly when others have attempted to convince you otherwise. Repeatedly. The bad news, as it were, is that the internal composition of the tree is changing. In this particular case, the tree is now regularly emitting ultra-low frequency sound waves. They're nearly imperceptible now, but they're growing in strength. This is something we've never observed before. Depending on how large these waves grow, consequences for the city could be disastrous. I must consult with my colleagues in MAST at once. Thank you for your assistance. I hope these credits are adequate compensation. Huh. Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? I hadn't expected to run into you again. Indeed I am. The success of my previous venture, with which you so kindly assisted, has been brought to the attention of MAST. There is growing concern. Oh my. A bit of an unintentional pun, isn't it? Well, concern that things are going to get worse. The data we gathered points to a definitive trend. The vibrations coming from this tree are increasing in strength and frequency. Because we've never seen this before, not on this scale, we have absolutely no idea what the upper limit is. We don't know when or even if this will stop. It's imperceptible by normal human standards now, but given time... While I hesitate to speculate on the possibilities, well, none of them are good. I am attempting to formulate one, yes. But until I have all of the relevant information, it is impossible to do so. There is data regarding other, younger members of the species. Unfortunately, there are some, shall we say, personal issues with acquiring it. Personnel issues, if you understand me. What? No, that is ridiculous. I am a professional. One of the other researchers in MAST, Emilio Hadek, has research I believe could be vital to my work here. He and I don't see eye to eye, and so far he's refused to turn it over to me. I'm hoping that if someone else were to ask, he might be more inclined to relinquish it. What do you say? Oh, thank you. Last I knew, he was on a field assignment somewhere near the outskirts of the city. Perhaps it's best if you don't mention my name in the process?
all the assignments they could have given me. Could you stand a little to the left? I think you're blocking my readings. Freeze. I see what's going on here. You're working with Kelton, aren't you? Nice try, but it's not happening. No. No way. Kelton is actively ruining my career. There's no chance that I'm helping him with anything. Whatever this thing is he's on about, he's just doing it to make himself look good with the higher-ups. I'm not helping him with that. Oh yeah? You think so? Wow. Thanks for that. I'll really give it some thought. He really won't let this go, will he? Maybe I can make this work in my favor. Okay, you know what? I'll hand over the data. But I'm only going to do so after you've helped me secure a better position in MAST. Well, then I guess we don't have anything else to discuss. See you around. Changed your mind, did you?
Seriously?
Willing to help me get a promotion?
I can't persuade him.
Wait, really? Wow. Okay. Okay.
I share the surprise. You are willing to entertain this?
I've gotten a few bad performance evaluations in the last couple of years. Totally unjustified, incredibly unfair. I found a backdoor into the MAST network so I could make some changes to my personnel file. But it turns out the chief engineer knows what she's doing. The only way to get access is from the terminal in her apartment, which is kind of locked. Sorry, that's not on the table. Mind your step. Important research happening here. Could you... freeze? No. Whatever this thing... Oh, yeah? Okay, you know what? But I'm only going to do... Oh, don't worry. You're... Wait, really? Wow.
I share the surprise. You are willing to entertain this?
Bitch, you need to shut the fuck up.
Ah, a face I never mind seeing. You will be lost without me.
Mind your step. Important research happening here. Could you stand a little to the left? Freeze. No. No way. Whatever this thing is... Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah. But I'm only going to do... Wait, really? I've gotten a few back. I found a back door. The only way to get out. Sorry. From where I'm standing... Advancing my... Okay, let's just keep this civil. Okay, look. Just hear me out, alright? I really need this to happen. If you do this for me, I can make it worth your while. You delete that data, I get promoted, I'm pulling in a bigger salary. I can compensate you. I'll throw in some extra credits for you, okay? A nice little bonus. But first, you need to get into the chief engineer's apartment. Fine, you win. Just get out of my sight. And tell Kelton to stop it.
the data. Wonderful. I see you have the gift of the gab. I hope that Emilio wasn't too insufferable. I'm sorry if this was complicated. I'd prefer to remain unaware of the details in the event that it comes up later, particularly in a legal setting. And I suppose I'd better verify the data to make sure Emilio didn't double-cross me. But you have once again come through for me. I'm truly hoping that this is the last piece I need to figure out what we can do. And I appreciate it. Thank you for your assistance. Again, don't tell me how you got the slate from Emilio. I don't want to know.
How you doing?
Oh, I was hoping we might run into one another again. Your timing is most fortuitous. I'm on the verge of something, but I don't quite have all the information I need. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, truly. Of course, now that I understand more about what's going on, it seems plain as day, and yet I never would have imagined it before. The tertiary trunks have also liquefied their interiors, but they're not vibrating. I thought perhaps it was some sort of defect, but it's much simpler. They're listening. It means it is ready to reproduce. I believe this tree is sending vibrations out over massive distances and expecting to detect sympathetic vibrations in return. As of yet, there's been no response. I suspect that will not change, that a response is impossible, and that's very, very bad news. My thoughts precisely. Now, as of yet, there has been no response, and clearly none of the nearby individuals are a correct match. While it can't be ruled out that the intended recipient of these messages was cut down during the city's expansion, there is one other possibility. Over 100 years ago, the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective emerged from the Narian War. As a gesture of peace and goodwill, a near-literal olive branch, one of the trees from New Atlantis, was offered to the leaders of Aquila City. Nice. Short-sighted and ill-advised, in my opinion. Of course, you can't just uproot a native species and plunk it down on some other planet in a totally different environment and expect it to grow. Clearly, no exobotanists were consulted ahead of time. The end result was wholly predictable. The tree died within a few short years. Clever, but no, not necessarily. The tree died, yes, but branches were kept. At least one still exists in the museum there in the city. If I had that branch, I could get DNA samples, and then using various data I've gathered, I could attempt to simulate a response. We could then broadcast that response and hopefully calm down our friend here. But as I say, I need that branch. I knew you would understand. The museum in Aquila City is under the supervision of one Miss Kessler, I'm told. I don't know anything about her, but hopefully she'll be willing to listen to reason and assist our cause. All right, off you go. We don't have any time to waste.
coming to save my surprise? He owes you a beer. Heck, a whole keg.
So you want to come here for a half day? Full day?
A half day. I talked with Miss Kessler and she'll...
Everything you see here is a piece of Aquila City's history.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome to the Co-Heritage Museum. I offer a brief tour, and I'm happy to discuss the city's history as well. Hi! Please feel free to have a look around. That is not something I expected to hear today. I assume you're somehow associated with the United Colonies? I've received some odd messages of late. Most in the collective aren't overly fond of Mast or the UC in general. I tend to share that sentiment. Lost a cousin in the colony war, you know. Well, I'm afraid you've wasted your time because I'm not authorized nor particularly inclined to release any of our pieces. That includes 100-year-old tree branches. Sorry, but it's staying in storage. I have artifacts that date all the way back to the time of... I hear what you're saying, but I'm afraid it's out of the question. I'm going to... It's not just... Handing over that branch is... I guess it... I think we can work something out. I can't believe I'm doing this. Please return it in one piece.
You don't need to wear your helmet.
Might want to steer clear of the stretch. Lots of crime over there.
So we had
Aquila's one of the oldest cities in the settled systems.
Why don't we just close it down? It's not like it gets much use.
I need something. It stinks.
But you know, stress trash back.
Hey, if you're looking to browse, you're in the wrong spot.
Let them. A few beer bottles and graffiti is the least we owe them.
Yes, Miss Vance.
The sales floor is downstairs. I don't think we typically allow customers up here.
You meet all sorts in Aquila City.
Just here for security. Please move along.
I'm pleased you chose to visit us today.
There's not enough to do around here.
damn, there's a lot of people on fucking Neon. I guess that's my next stop then. Yes. I think I'll go to Neon after this.
The city has what we need. Have you paid a visit to Miss Castle? Yes, of course. I will see that it is returned to her in one piece. Well, perhaps minus a few shadings. Now, I just need a moment to analyze this. Right, so feed in a sample. Now the program will incorporate the genetic and chemical makeup of the sample, extrapolating the size and structure of the original tree. This was put together rather hastily, so complete accuracy is impossible. I'm hoping it's enough. And there it is. Our best hope for a positive solution to this mess. So, we now have a simulated response to our tree. All that's left is to play it. Oh, I'm quite certain you couldn't achieve the necessary register. Far too low for human vocal cords. I've been forced to listen to this SSNN kiosk chatter incessantly this entire time. I think it could be put to better use. We don't have time to go through the proper channels, but if you can find a terminal and get this uploaded into their system, it might do the trick. You're right. There's a chance that there could be some minor adverse side effects, but none would be life-threatening. We won't play the broadcast loud or long enough to cause any major or permanent damage to humans or other organic life. And aside from that, if we don't calm this tree down soon... Perhaps, but desperate time. Certainly, but if not, well... I have no doubt that you will.
Never forget what the FC did. Never forget. What's my problem with them? Really? I'm keeping the FC accountable for the terrible things they've done. The Colony War was an unforgivable tragedy. Countless lives could have been spared, but the Freestar Collective was out for blood. The Freestar Collective took my father away from me. Oh, please. Grief has nothing to do with it. Facts are facts.
And the fact of the matter is that my dad would be alive if the FC never broke the Treaty of Marion. Well, I want it torn down, of course. The fact that there's even an embassy for them here after what they did, it's a... Tear it down. Tear it all down. Ha! Diplomacy? That doesn't mean anything to the FC. They'll break any law and treaty that they feel like. It doesn't matter to them. Back to business.
If I move back to Leon, your stories are a big hit. You lead a... Well, you've already helped me with that. I've gotten some good scoops off of you, and I won't forget it anytime soon. What's the story this time? Okay... I think you're going to have to give me a little more information, because right now this sounds like the sort of thing that could get me fired, and possibly land me in jail for a treason and/or terrorism. Well, now this just sounds like a practical joke. But you've been a reliable source so far. All right, I'll do it. But if I lose my job over this, I promise you, I will come after you. I have a feeling we'll see each other again.
We've done it! I'm already seeing reductions in the strength of the vibrations. The tree is calming down. I can hardly believe that worked. I don't know. We've been in uncharted territory this whole time. That doesn't stop now. With the immediate crisis hopefully over, I can slow down and review everything we've learned. And certainly, I'll be keeping a much closer eye on our friend going forward. And you have saved this tree and advanced our scientific knowledge of our environment. Noble work across the board. You have my gratitude and that of every citizen in New Atlantis, though they don't know it.
Why did you drag me in here?
You said you wanted to buy something nice for your girlfriend, so here we are.
Do you think I've suddenly inherited a fortune? This place is way out of my price range.
Take it easy. Hey, you're the one that told me she has expensive tastes.
All of our items are guaranteed to be of the highest quality.
Places in a class.
Are you sure you're in the right place? You certainly don't look like one of our usual clientele. I take it from your tone I've made an error in judgment. Please forgive my disrespect. We have quite a few, shall we say, thugs that find their way into my establishment and create a disturbance. In fact, there's a particular Seoka member who calls himself Headlock, who repeatedly torments me by damaging my goods. You mean kill him? Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't know how. I've never been terribly good at that sort of thing. Anyway, I've already taken up too much of your valuable time. Was there anything else I could help you with? Oh yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness, that's such a... Headlock's quite a dangerous... You say that, but Seoka aren't exactly pushovers when it comes to this sort of... Anyway... It was good to have you in my shop. Farewell.
Private sector. That's what I want.
Epside's a bad place for tourists these days.
You lost, kiddo? Yeah, well, make it... I had some high hopes for this shop back when these days. Mm-hmm. Sounds like... Never heard of them. Now, are you gonna buy something or just annoy me all day? How am I supposed to... I'm gonna pretend I did. Calm down. I'm still thinking about it. You just won't give up, will you? Yeah, I know Headlock can't stand them. And I heard some of the other Seoka can't either. That boy doesn't know how to keep himself out of trouble. What'd he do this time? Well, if any place should be terrorized, it may as well be the Emporium. In any case, if you're so desperate to find him, He and his friends are probably hanging out in Warehouse 4 or somewhere near there. I gotta ask, what are you gonna do with them? That's one way to punish him. You'll just bore him to death. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a business to get back to. If you aren't gonna buy anything, you better run along. See you around. Can I help you? Check it out. Come again.
And who do we have here? You here for business, or to get your head caved in? Is that so? I'm not just some low-life thug anymore. I'm with the Sioka now. You mess with me, you'll mess with the whole syndicate, and that won't end well for you. Oh yeah? Those are big words coming from a nobody. So go on, hotshot. Give me a reason why I should leave Tevin and his shitty little store alone. Go on, enlighten me. But don't waste my time. Looking over your shoulder in neon can get old. Jeez, just take it easy, will ya? It kills me to say this, but I see your point. Fine. We won't go around to the Emporium any longer. Whatever. Next time, I might not be so nice. Tevin won't have to We'll leave Tevin in his shop alone.
Side's a bad place for tourists these days. All areas gone to hell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bad part of town, buddy. I'm gonna do you a favor. Head back to Bayou Plaza before the disciples get you. Hey, it's your ass, not mine on the line. Whole area's gone to hell. Us crate rats used to think that... Kinda wish they... Well, you'll find them at Madame Sauvage's. They're always holding auditions. So, being so, what with the disciples and all? Hey, thanks. Look, I mean it. Go back to the plaza.
Don't you have something better to do?
Each of our unique starship models is expertly crafted by the several systems best engineers and designers.
There's ecliptic mercenaries, factions useless. Free stock collected, and wide berth. Ask me. You see any heat breaches? Aren't you the one I saw running away from that crazy guy?
Haven't seen a
Welcome
leech
to
in a
the
while.
Emporium.
You think the city got them all?
Oh my. I'm not one to get involved. Come back soon. You never know what we'll have for sale.
Hey there, driven explorer. Ready to leave. Because everything
What is it? You're interrupting me. Is this time accounted for? I will take that as a no. It's not accounted for. If time is money, then suffice to say Ms. Serrano would not be pleased with such a frivolous expenditure. You may have a point. And since you clearly have bandwidth to spare, maybe you can help me clean up a, minor indiscretion. Good. Let me give you some background. Recently, I've been assisting the impoverished in both Ebbside and the Underbelly. I pay for the occasional meal, clinic visit, or comfort. But I may have lost a slate in the process. I need you to locate and retrieve it for me. Pre-assignment intel for one of our operatives. The contents themselves aren't too sensitive, so if you're thinking of betraying me, they aren't worth much as leverage. My sloppiness is simply an embarrassment that I'd like to correct. Then we have an agreement. Good. Go to the underbelly and talk to the panhandler, Huang. Discarded items are her specialty, so she may have come across the slate herself. If you can manage to find it, bring it back to me, and I will pay you for the time. Until next time.
I was hoping you'd show up soon. Is it done? Don't get too comfortable. Those who do usually don't last long in this field. Now, I think it's time to examine a different set of skills. It's a decent start, but we'll see. Your next assignment is to find the security chief and use some creative thinking to obtain their security keycard. And when I say creative, I don't mean with a weapon. Either look the part and be persuasive, or be quick with your hands. We just need some easy access to competitor security. Sometimes obtaining a legitimate form of access is preferred over brute forcing it. Good luck. I'm sure you'll be able to get that keycard without incident. Just remember, if anything does happen, it's up to you to bail yourself out.
If you got any spare creds, I can always take them off your hands. Hey, Chief, you got any creds you can spare? Thank you kindly. You're a class bass, you know that? I'll do my best to someday pay you back. Street's honor. This isn't a donation, it's an investment. Wow, you really did me a solid, Chief. Oh, it's all right. Once per day is enough. I don't want you to go poor. Oh, I totally did. Found it in the dumpster right next to a half-eaten chunk. And it was perfect timing, really. You see, the other day, the wind got a nasty cough and blew away all of my business spreadsheets. But that won't happen with this slate. It's like wind resistant. That would mean I don't have to start over. All right, deal. I lost them near the employee break area. Look for any papers near the ground, the tables, maybe even the roof. You find all 3 spreadsheets, and I'll give you the slate. real class of you, Chief. A+ stuff. Now I can get my books sorted, executive style. As promised, your slate. Tell your techie friend I didn't peek inside. And even if I did, I don't know what half of it says anyway. Handhandling's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. See ya, Chief.
If I have DJ.
How goes the slate search? Well done. It seems assigning you to this task was time well spent. And as I said when we met, time is money. Hopefully these credits will serve as adequate compensation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an operative to debrief.
Okay, so how the fuck do I do this? Maybe I need... copper, tungsten, adapter frame. How do I have no tungsten, dude? Ugh. Tungsten, copper, adapter frame.
I am the stud.
If you don't see what you want... Oh, please. Thanks for coming in.
How can I be of service, Captain?
That's exactly what it was. I think maybe it needs to be at both outposts. evolve to Readiness 2. Reach. Soon to be reach. About to get in a firefight. Guess not. Alright, we're gonna stop here for now. We'll either come back to this after I come back, or we're gonna go play some MCC. I've been in a Halo mood campaign, so we may go play that. We'll see. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.